So welcome to the first full week of school at BIA. Can I get a cheer for that? No, it is good, right? I mean, it's good to be back among friends and even new friends. And of course, the teachers have been waiting. They've been preparing all summer for you guys. So it's a great time to be here. I know we just went through a rough weekend, right? With this, I'm happy to report the school did not float away. Yes, yes. All right. Did you notice the sandbags? We sandbagged the two entrances on Lafayette Street just to be safe because we're near the ocean and there was a full moon Saturday night and the tides were very high and there was heavy rainfall. So this is like the perfect storm for flooding. So we wanted to be very, very careful. So we were, and we had no problems at all. I'm happy to report. So especially for new students, but also for everyone else, I want to remind you that Monday mornings are very important. They're not just important at BIA, they're important in life. Getting your day, your week, your month off on the right foot is very important. It doesn't seem like it is because you're dealing with so many other things, but the reality is if you can get something started well, you're already well on your way to success. So even waking up, making your bed, having your morning routine, these are all very, very important. They don't seem that way, but when you get to be my age, I can tell you that even small things are very important and very helpful in the long run. So in general, Monday morning assemblies are important. I know you're tired and you have a long weekend and so forth, but please try to pay as much attention as you can and learn as much as you can. And this morning we have a special presentation on what's called service learning. Ms. L will give us a talk about that. It's a big part of what we do here at BIA, so it's important to understand. Again, for the returning students, you've heard some of this content, but you can always learn more and clarify and fine-tune. And for our new students, it's maybe something new for you that you'll be exposed to while you're here. So without further ado, let us welcome Ms. L.
Thank you. Good morning. Let's turn this on. Okay. I think we're good. All right. So, happy Monday, everybody. Welcome, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about service learning at BIA. And the main question that you can think about is how can you serve others? All right. And a key question to kind of start us off with this is, what kind of talents do you have that you can actually help serve the world around you, right? There's a lot of things that we can do really well, and we can think about how we can do so to benefit people around us. So I have a short video that is meant to inspire us this morning. So Mr. Shin, if you could play the video for us.
A.D. Williams once said, "Imagine what 7 billion humans could accomplish if we loved and respected one another." Just imagine. Imagine if there was no greed. Imagine if there was no comparison. If everyone was running their own race, but cheering for all others at the same time. Maybe we'll never see that in our lifetime. But what we all can do is start with ourselves. Start with yourself. Choose to lift others up. Choose to set the example of kindness and integrity, the example of compassion and understanding. There's a quote that says, "No matter how educated, talented, rich, or cool you believe you are, how you treat people ultimately tells all." Integrity is everything. It really is. Who you are is far more important than what you have, and it will always be. Who you are is measured by how you make others feel. Be kind to each other. In a world where you can be anything, Choose to be the change you wish to see in the world. Decide you will not wait for someone else. You will set the example. Be kind, because you never know how much that person is suffering inside. You never know the difference your words can make, the difference your presence can make, the difference you can make to one human life. Be the reason someone believes in the goodness of humanity. Be the reason someone else decides to make a difference in others. Be the influence you want to see more of. Always do what is right, not what is easy in the moment. Kindness spreads like a virus. When you do good to another, that person does better to those they come in contact with. You really can make a big difference in the world today and every other day. Anne Frank said, in the long run, the sharpest weapon of all is a kind and gentle spirit. No one has ever made themselves great by showing how small another is. Be kind and always build others up to the best of your ability. Treat everyone with the same level of kindness that you would like for yourself. Not because everyone is nice, but because you are. Because karma makes no mistakes. Because it is right. Because you have integrity. Because you want this world to be better when you leave than when you arrive.
Okay, thank you. All right. Mr. Shin, can you do the next slide? But some inspiration for all of us this morning to think about how we can serve other people. Yes. So we're going to talk about today what is service learning. And basically what it is learning through our actions, all right? So when we go out there in the community, we serve and help people with real issues, all right? And by doing that, we can also work on ourselves and learn from our experiences. All right, and then this year, we're talking about our 5 competencies. So we're going to focus in on these 5 different areas, main areas. So we'll talk about communication, critical thinking, big picture perspective, valuing lifelong learning, and community building. So just to dissect each of them really briefly, communication, are we able to effectively write, read, speak, visualize, listen, and learn? So it's not just about talking well, but also including all these other aspects with it. Critical thinking, are we able to make informed decisions based on the information that we actually are given? So are we able to make sense of the information? And then we have our big picture perspective. So this one is quite interesting. This one you have to step back a little bit from the situation. How do you actually fit in that situation? And how does what you're doing actually fit in the larger perspective of your life or your community? And then we have 4th, valuing lifelong learning. So you realize that life is a continuous, lifelong process. It never ends, all right? And there's always something new to learn and to gain. And then our final one, community building. This one is one that we really try to implement here, bringing people together, sharing the responsibility to make our community grow and thrive, unite people with your vision. So something that Dr. Swartz is going to talk about today is about clubs. So this is a perfect way that you can plug in on community building. And then I'd like to explain how this all is going to work, all right? So first of all, when we have our community service project, you of course will do the community service project, then you'll go to the computer labs, you're gonna open up the discussion on Google Classroom, and basically it's going to be an area where you respond to the prompt and then you're gonna reply to other people, all right? Make sure you add enough detail on those discussions, and you can always email me at my email. You can also just start putting ELAG and the email should pop right up. If this discussion is incomplete or it doesn't have enough detail, you will not get credit for your community service. So please make sure you're taking this seriously and answering things well. And of course, leaving healthy and happy. So, you all were wondering why I asked you about your spirit animals during last week, and I will let you know. The highest rating one was a bird. Lots of people just either put bird or some type of bird, and the runner-up on which type of bird was indeed the eagle. Everyone wants to be free, it seems like. And then our runners-up are dog, cat, and owl. All right. So this is just to show you that I think by now everyone has joined the Service Learning Google Classroom. You're going to do this during Character Ed this week. Okay, so Mrs. Kais has the pre-assessment for you. You're going to open the pre-assessment. It looks like this. And then you're going to complete that. Basically, you're going to go through all the 5 competencies and rate yourself of how you feel you are. Again, level 5 is mastery, so you may be close to that or near it, but remember, there is always room for growth. All right, and I just wanted to show you, Sacred Heart University has really cool resources. We also put this on our virtual bulletin board on Plus Portals, so you can take a look at that. If you need more hours, they actually have lots of different opportunities for you. Here's some more animal runners up, and then our final slide is have a great day and week ahead and more runners up for animals. Thank you.
Well, that's a lot to digest. Thank you very much, Miss L. Let's give her another round of applause. So I think service learning, if you're just coming into it, for the first time, it'll begin to make sense as you go along and you practice some of these exercises in terms of reflection. And it's an important skill to master. And in college, as you noticed with her slide, Sacred Heart has a full-blown service learning program. And many, many colleges also have these kinds of programs. So if you become familiar with that process while you're in high school, you'll be in a much better position to do well in those kinds of programs later on. Not to mention the accumulation of service hours is so great on your college application. So here at BIA, we have a requirement of 75 community service hours, and we provide you an opportunity to get 30 per year because we have 10 projects, 1 a month. They're on the half days on Fridays. It's very easy to get those hours. So you'll be hearing more about service learning in Character Ed, so please pay close attention and soak up as much as you can, and you'll be the better for it. So once again, Ms. L., thank you very much for that presentation. I'm going to invite Mr. An to come up, and he's going to talk a bit about the Student Council. Mr. An.
All right, thank you, everyone. Before I start, though, I'd just like to add, yes, this is in fact real. Community service helping out with your college application. I myself graduated from BIA. I received a $10,000 per year scholarship based on community service. I hope many of you can take similar routes. On that, I'd like to just go over very briefly Student Council for this year, mainly the elections. For this year, we are going to go over all of the rules. Next week we will have our elections, but we differentiate between our executive committee and our general student council roles. We will be splitting between 2 groups, so the executive committee will be expecting a little bit more in terms of meeting time. And the following roles: president, vice president, treasurer, secretary, public relations rep. For that, you will be voted on by the entire student body. And the day after, on Wednesday, September 8th, the class reps and the international relations rep will be voted on. Now, if you do want to run, however, there is a mandatory meeting in which I will go over in fine detail what student council involves, what needs to be set in place for the elections. So if you are interested, Please, either on Thursday this week or Friday this week, please come after school, Mr. On's room 222, to make sure that you let me know that you are interested and I can go over the details I can't really go over this morning. But I would like to say just two last things. If you want to be involved, specifically if you'd like to grow or to shine your strength in leadership, collaboration, organization, and professionalism, I hope you will partake in Student Council. Last year, we weren't able to do as much, or we weren't able to have the students shine in their ideas as much due to COVID restrictions. We will continue to follow COVID restrictions, but hopefully we will be able to do much more than last year. And as for the functions, generally, Student Council is involved with leading BIA events, engaging the student body, collaborating with the faculty, and representing BIA. All right, sorry, that was so short, but if you are interested, please come after school this Thursday or this Friday. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. On. It's, Student Council is a pretty cool thing here at BIA, so I encourage you to run or participate in some level. Lots of great activities are planned by the Student Council, so we appreciate Mr. On's leadership. He's the faculty liaison to the Student Council. So let's give him another round of applause. I also want to acknowledge all of the parents who are watching. We broadcast the Monday morning assemblies live on Facebook and also through the YouTube channel. So I believe that there's parents out there this morning. So let's give them a warm round of applause as well. Thank you for watching. Tell your friends and neighbors. So our final speaker for this morning is Dr. Schwartz. He's going to talk about clubs and also give you some announcements for the week, and he will dismiss you. So let's welcome Dr. Schwartz.
Okay, good morning. I'm sorry we can't all be together. It's so nice when we used to be able to gather in the assembly room. Because of our protocol for COVID-19 requires social distancing, we're only able to have the 9th and 10th graders in this room. So this is how we'll do the morning assemblies when we have them once a week. We'll be able to have 9th and 10th. Next week you'll go to your regular homeroom, and the juniors will come here next week. They have a larger class, and the seniors have even a larger class, so they'll come the week after here. And then after that, again, 9th and 10th graders will come here. I got a number of announcements here. Let me first get through the college classes because they're on my mind, because today University of Bridgeport opens, and we have quite a few students taking courses both at University of Bridgeport and Housatonic. So we need, and by the way, some students don't have their UB ID set up yet. I expected some to meet me yesterday. They knew who they are. They did not show up to get their UBID. Some did, some didn't. You need to get a UBID because they've locked down the campus, so you need an ID to be able to get into each classroom. And so the students that don't have their UBID yet, I need a passport photo. You need to go to Mr. Shin and make sure you get a regular passport photo. And I need your results. Well, we don't need the results this year of the COVID test. Don't have to put that in there. I just need your passport photo and a government ID, and please come to my office. Those students that have classes that start today at UB, we have to make sure you have access. So you can come to me and meet with me and make sure you're set up for access. Naira has a class today. Yunsun has 2 classes today. We have Sarah, you have a class beginning this evening. And we have Kang, you have a class beginning this evening as well. So we have to make sure you're set up for today. And the other students that have signed up for UB courses have classes beginning tomorrow. Anyway, drop in and let me know what's going on in terms of your, make sure we get you set up in terms of your access to the classroom. Those taking place at Housatonic, we have 7 students signed up to take college course at Housatonic. This actually has worked out really well for us. It used to have a problem getting our international students at Housatonic simply because they could not get the there was always a meeting with their advisor during the summer, and they were always in their home country. But now, because of the COVID, they actually do the meetings online, and so all of our students, international students, will be able to take courses as well at Housatonic. Well, we have 7 students that are signed up. I met with almost all of you, but not everybody. I need to know what course you're taking, and I think I collected all the courses from last year for your grades, so I think we're all set up in terms of that. Okay, it was mentioned I'd talk about activities and clubs. So first, let me mention about activities. Everyone was able to get their first choice, okay? So you're set. It's in Plus Portals. If you're not sure what you signed up for, go to Plus Portals and you'll see your class signed up, okay? So the first choice everybody has, and that'll start tomorrow during that 5th period, okay? About clubs, we're student-driven. With the exception of 3 clubs, we're student-driven. We do have an SAT club. Mr. Ahn usually waits a little bit to find out when student council is going to be meeting, and then he sets up when he'll meet for SAT club, but he generally runs it 2 days a week. It's a very good club to prepare for your SAT preparation. As you know, Mr. Ahn got a perfect score, or 800 in his math, but he's an excellent teacher of SAT in general, and so he runs an SAT club after school 2 days a week. We don't have the dates yet. What happens with student council is once the elections happen, he meets with the student council members and finds out when they have college classes and when they're able to meet. Because they meet after school. If they have college classes at 3 o'clock, it makes it difficult, so they try to arrange it accordingly. And then the third group is National Honor Society. I wait till the student council elections are over, and then we gather together and have our elections as a body, National Honor Society, and begin to plan for our year. The rest of the clubs are student-driven. If you have an idea for a club, you've got to find, well, you got to do 2 things. You got to find an advisor. You got to find a faculty member that is willing to attend your club meetings and be an advisor. And you have to have a written proposal that we can get in the office. I don't actually have details because Mrs. Keiss is not here to give them to me, but what will they need in that proposal for the clubs? They'll need to have the day they'll meet.
Yeah, and the number of students who are interested.
Number of students who are interested.
The frequency.
How frequently you'll meet.
Some agenda about what you're going to be.
And agenda about the purpose of the club. So we'll need a written write-up, okay? So if you're interested in starting a club, please begin to work on those things and find out how many students you have that are interested in the club, okay? It'll have to be approved by the office, and then if you have a faculty advisor and gets our approval, then you can be able to start your club. Any questions on clubs? Anything else to add in those? Okay. All students are now signed up for plagiarismcheck.com, or .org, I'm sorry, plagiarismcheck.org. During orientation, Ms. L did a little tutorial on that. If you're not sure about getting signed up, getting into it, you can ask one of your homeroom teachers about getting into plagiarismcheck.org, or come to the office, or go to Ms. L in terms of that. But before you submit essays, you should be checking for plagiarism, because the teachers will be checking for plagiarism. And so everybody should get practiced with, and also does very good citations. So you should get practice in terms of plagiarismcheck.org. Reminder to faculty that are listening, we have a faculty meeting today, 11:55, okay? It'll also be on Zoom. For those that are unable to make it in person or want to be in another room, it'll be on Zoom as well. We're meeting at 2:12. And the final thing is, I'm just going to mention, I found this the end of last week. I remember I made an announcement about Yoon Sun Kim in her PSAT. We run a PSAT and ACT in October. I think it's October 13th or 14th this year, where all the students, freshmen, sophomores, and juniors will take a standardized test. Good time to get into Mr. Ahn's SAT preparation class, and so you can get a good score on those exams. And the seniors that day, we do a They come into school, but we begin to work on their applications to college. Anyway, I mentioned last year that Yunsun in the PSAT had made a 97th percentile in her math, and now she's done the same in her SAT. SAT also 97% in her math area. So let's have applause for Yunsun Kim. Okay, that's all my announcements, Dr. Bennett. Oh, dismiss them now? Okay, you're all dismissed. Go to your second period class, okay? First academic class.
Hey, everybody. So that was exciting, right? That's our first full assembly for the school year. As Dr. Schwartz mentioned, we look forward to, a full room. Unfortunately, because of the COVID restriction, we only could have the freshmen and sophomores in the assembly room this morning. But, hopefully things will improve and we'll be able to gather as a group. But as we mentioned, every time we do an assembly, and sometimes we have special meetings as well, they will be broadcast on the Facebook Live page, the Bridgeport Academy Facebook page, and we do the Facebook Live. But we've also introduced the YouTube as well. So for those who need, other ways of tuning in.
Any student in need of a locker, please come to the main office. If you do not have a locker number, please come to the main office.
It's exciting. It's exciting here at BIA in the first week. So much goes on, and I just want to thank you, okay, for joining us online this morning, and encourage you to tune in Monday mornings at 8, unless there's some unique schedule with weather or something like that. But once again, thank you so much. We're looking forward to a wonderful school year. Thank you for sending your children to BIA. We take our mission very seriously to educate them and earn the trust that you have placed in us. So have a wonderful day, wonderful week. God bless. Thank you so much.